throughout the last several seasons, you just hear about injuries with the Clippers, and it seems like it never stops. So, when we talk about that, it just trickulates into other things after a while. People saying more negative things about players that shouldn't come out, like Stephen A. said what he said about, Kawhi Leonard, and talking about maybe he should consider retiring. And then everybody else kind of, went from that. And Richard Jefferson kind of walked it back at the time, saying that, hey, man, you're not in no position to tell nobody to retire. Your ass better be lucky that ESPN ain't lay your ass off like the rest of everybody else while Stephen A. talking about somebody should retire. I mean, you might not have a job soon based upon you coming on national TV or YouTube, whatever, on your channel saying they might lay me off next. So I don't hear, all the hoopla now. But see, this is the point. You get these guys in the media to say all these negative things about players and don't even know what it's like to play the damn sport. Probably never even played basketball to even close to their level. And that's what I respect about Ty Lue. Ty Lue was on All the Smoke, and he basically, defended Kawhi and PG amongst all the negativity that surrounds them, that's being talked about them in regards to the Clippers not going to the top and winning championships due to injury. And what he spoke about on All the Smoke was how everybody has something bad to say about Kawhi and PG and the load management and all these things, but these players are not load managing because they want to. And basically what he said is that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Somebody's load managing because they don't want to play in the playoffs, when Kawhi has won 2 championships in this league, has been at the top of the league, has been revered as the best player in the league at some point in his career. And, after he won the championship with Toronto, almost as if this guy doesn't want to play and he's not good enough to do it or something like that. When you listen to Stephen A. Smith and some of the others, Shannon Sharps and people like that, it's a reason why, I'm saying sometimes it's good to, overlook that stuff or let it go on one ear and out the other, because it's just a bunch of BS what they're talking about. Kawhi definitely wants to play. PG definitely wants to play. They don't want to be sitting on the sideline. They don't want to sit there and take games off, especially in the playoffs. They want to be out there and show everybody how great they are, and how everybody's forgetting how great of a player both of them are. That's what they want to do. And I feel like the media just paints this narrative that a lot of people just follow and don't have a leader mindset, have a following mentality, and just go along with it. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. All the negativity about Kawhi, you hear some of these fans, some of these fake fans, and some of these like I said, naysayers and people like that talking about Kawhi should retire and all this stuff. Who are you to say Kawhi should retire? You can't do what Kawhi does. And like I said, Kawhi still has a lot of basketball left in him, and he still could be a starter. And I've heard some people say, oh, you should let him come off the bench. Why the hell would you let Kawhi Leonard come off the bench when that's your best player on the team and you have no chance of winning a championship without him, which we've clearly seen multiple times. I mean, when the Clippers made it to the conference finals that year, when Kawhi got hurt, Paul George and the Clippers couldn't do it. They couldn't get past the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul was a thorn in their side, and so was Devin Booker. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you had an opportunity there, but without Kawhi Leonard, it's just so much more tough, because it's more on Paul George, or let's say Kawhi's playing and Paul George is not there. It's more on Kawhi Leonard. They both need to be there for this team to win a championship. They both need to be present and healthy and playing whole and sound and very, very effective for this team to win a championship. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe possibly Kawhi without PG, simply because Kawhi's won championships before, and we saw Kawhi put a team on his back before and take them all the way to the promised land and win a championship. We saw him do that. So maybe Kawhi can do it without PG, but I'm not sure the other way around. But I mean, the Clippers are so deep as a team, they got one of their star players, they still can make a run. They still can go far, I believe. So, or, however you want to look at that. But my point is, all the negativity surrounding, these two guys specifically, you got to kind of overlook some of that. You got to take a lot of that or some of that with basically a grain of salt. You can't sit there and worry about, or sit there and talk about, oh, well, he should retire, he should this. No, Kawhi should come back and play when he's healthy, when he's ready. Not teams forcing him to play early because, they're in the last 10 games of the season, they're fighting to get into the playoffs rather than, fall into the play-in tournament. And that's another thing that Ty Lue talked about, what I'm saying, what the Clippers need to focus on. You need to focus on the regular season more. And he spoke on that on All the Smoke, when he was on the podcast with Steven Jack and Matt Barnes. He said we need to focus more on the regular season because it can propel us better for the postseason, and the seeding and the home court advantage and all that stuff will make a difference where you can rest more and you can take some games off and get more rest and keep things going and keep the fluidity going. But also when the playoffs start, you know where you are, you're locked into a spot, you got home court advantage here, there, and that will make everything so much more fruitful for the team in the long run. And I think that ultimately, Ty Lue is 100% right. They need to take the regular season a little bit more with a different approach. And I think that was perfect of what Ty Lue said. And, he said he sat down with his main two guys and they was on board with it. And that's a good thing to hear because the Clippers definitely need to be more mindful of the regular season because it builds up for the postseason and it puts you in better position if you're the first seed or second seed or something like that. Now you got home court advantage. You can go into a playoff matchup with confidence. Everybody know where they stand. They know who's going to be playing. They know who the matchup is, and they can just go from there and make adjustments. And I thought that was real good for Ty Lue to say. And I just feel like, all the right things are said about the Clippers in regards to the players, the organization, the people, and everything within it. But it just hasn't triculated or hasn't, materialized to a championship yet. But I mean, this could be the year for the Clippers. We just have to see. But health has to be on their side, and so does a lot of luck. So with that being said, a lot of talking has been said by Ty Lue, the last couple days in regards to that, speaking on that. So, the talking is one thing, but you got to live up to the expectations. So with that being said, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it.